This is Mr. Hanna, and welcome to what format. Today we're going to go over the unit circle. This is trigonometry. This is higher level math, usually seen in either 10th or 11th grade, sometimes as late as 12th grade, depending on what your math path is. But unit circle is for trigonometry, and they call it a unit circle because they make the radius 1. Why do they make the radius 1? Well, because it makes the math easier, or at least it's supposed to, until of course you start seeing all these radicals, and then you think, well, wait, that's not so easy. Now, interesting thing about the unit circle is it's meant to be memorized. Now, I have seen a lot of students struggle with memorization. I sometimes struggle with memorization too, especially if I have to memorize 50 things, okay? So what I've learned to try to do is instead of memorizing 50 things, I try to find a way to memorize maybe 10 things and then take those 10 things and use them to get the other things. I definitely do that with the unit circle, okay? You'll notice that there's points in the unit circle. And you'll also notice I've only done the first quadrant. These points and these patterns go around. You can break each quadrant up into 3. So you got 3, another 3, another 3, another 3. That's 12 points. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 16 points. Okay? And I don't know about you, but when I start to memorize 16 points, things start to get jumbled in my head. I get a little confused. It gets a little scary. You get into a quiz on the class and your teacher says, okay, you got 10 minutes, 10 problems, go, or 5 minutes, 5 problems, or even just a minute. Some of these teachers go really fast with these quizzes that they do. All of a sudden your brain starts to panic, and if it's not, the less familiar it is, the less solid it is in your brain, mistakes happen. And 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 on quizzes will really hurt your grade. So how do you fix that? Well, again, notice I only have the first quadrant here. That's because all these numbers repeat coming around. Okay? And it's kind of like when you hop, skip, go boom, 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 and then you start there and go back. Yes? Well, that's what the unit circle does. It just goes forwards and backwards. So this point is going to start over here. Then this point's going to be in the middle. Then this point's going to be there. And then it's going to go to that point. Okay? Now, of course, the numbers are a little different. Why? Well, the values are the same, but over here, some of them are negative. Which ones? Well, over here. The x is negative over here. If this is my x-axis right here, x is positive on that side and negative on that side. This is my y-axis, it's positive here and negative down here. So when these values flip over, this point mirrors this. It's not 1/2 root 3 over 2, it's now negative 1/2 root 3 over 2. Then negative root 2 over 2 root 2 over 2. Negative root 3 over 2 1/2. So the numbers are the same. The values are the same, but now it's a different sign combination. See, the x is negative here, and this is positive. The y is positive, okay? Down here, the x and y are both what? Negative. Same numbers, but now they're both negative. And they go across. So this line comes down like this. These points go with here. Yes? Okay, if I come here, these go here, then they also go down like that. So once you realize that connection, instead of having to memorize 16 points, you just have to memorize these 5. And here's another cool thing. The middle one, the values are the same. These, look, the numbers switch. Same thing here, 1, 0, 0, 1. So you really just have to memorize 0, 1, root 3, 1/2, root 3 over 2, root 2 over 2. That's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So the unit circle is 5 numbers. You just have to know the order to put them in and whether they're positive or negative. That's a lot less memorization, 5 numbers instead of 16 points. 16 times 2, 32 numbers. Do you see what I mean by taking a lot of stuff that's a lot and making it little and connecting the dots for a pattern? That's how I do the unit circle. So if you're trying to memorize a unit circle, I would start with that. Memorize this first quadrant and then extrapolate it into here, because remember over here, it's plus minus for the x and the y. So again, same numbers, but now the x coordinate is positive and the y coordinate is negative. And then you just go around. Now, that's the points. Now, of course, you still have to memorize the angles. Well, I've memorized that pi over 6, 6 goes with 30. Pi over 3, 3 goes with 60. So basically, they're opposites. 3 with 60, 6 with 30, that helps. And pi over 4, well, those are just your 45s. And you just go 3, 5, 7. Okay? 135, 225, 315. Okay, now, again, you can see I've broken it down into pieces. I started with the points, and now I'm going to the angles. That's another memorization trick I use. I don't try to memorize the whole thing at once. I break it into parts. And then I try to take those parts, like I said, and pare it down. So I have as little to memorize as possible, and then I just transfer that, follow the patterns. Okay, hopefully that helps with the unit circle. This is what the points are, these are what the angles are, and then everything will just repeat in the other quadrant. But if you're trying to memorize this, I would start with this. When you have this memorized, the angles up to 90 pi/2, and you have the degrees and the radians measured, memorized. You have the degrees and the radians memorized and the points. Once that's done, then I would try to extrapolate it to the others, okay? And I would take a week or two to do that. And then when you get to that, okay, I'll do another video where I'll just pull those in and I'll have a unit circle and do all that. Or you can just Google it. And guess what you'll see? You'll see the same unit circle, but now you'll see all those filled in, but it'll make more sense because you'll be able to see the connection. All right? And then that's how you memorize the unit circle. Anyway, hopefully these little paring it down like this, breaking it down, helps you. So you're not as overwhelmed with it. But one thing to note, when you get into trig, the unit circles and everything. And it comes back, okay? I've seen students in high school, they get through the unit circle trig, they're like, oh good, I don't ever see that again. They get into college calculus, guess what? Here comes the unit circle again. And now it's with calculus and all this other stuff going on, and now the student's in big trouble because they forgot something that the teacher isn't going to give them time to memorize, so now they've got double or triple the work, and they just can't keep up. And that's usually what happens in math. If you don't remember stuff, you're surprised when it comes back and it gets you. So hopefully this is a quick and easy way to memorize the unit circle. And I would, don't be surprised if it takes you a couple weeks. But it's worth it, I can tell you that. Anyway, hopefully that helps with the unit circle. This has been Mr. Hanna. What the format? Happy mathing.